Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And as always, man, we're ready to do this thing. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame with us here today, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, hopefully there. Of course, questions we'll be taking today. Talking about everything, wrestling, combat, all across the board. But Brad, how you doing today?
Yo, I'm doing good, Book. I'm enjoying the last little bit, even though it's like 68 degrees outside. I'm enjoying the last little bit of the cold that we seem to be getting during the Christmas week. It's going to be a warm December on Christmas Day, but I've enjoyed a little time off, trying to get this everything in the studio together. It's coming together real nice, Book. I got to be honest with you. I'm pretty proud of myself for this thing.
You know what, man?
It's looking great.
It's one more thing we got to do.
What's that?
We'll talk about it during the break off the air or later on after the show. But there's one more thing we got to do just to pull this show together completely if we're going to continue to do it like this.
All right. Well, I'm ready to hear about it. I guess we'll get to it. You'll leave me in suspense.
Oh, definitely. I'll tell you. I mean, you know what? And the thing is, the reason I don't want to talk about it on the air, because when I steal people's stuff, I don't just want to talk about it.
You don't want them to know that we're stealing it. They can't know that we're doing it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm all about, man. Taking it and tweaking it a little bit. And hey, bro, I'm just saying.
It's the name of the game. I think we may have talked about this before. I know that you said that there were certain guys who would do moves back in the day, and you're like, oh man, that's pretty good. I like that. I might take that.
Pat Tanaka was one of my favorites. Go ahead.
Pat Tanaka. I remember the Beyond the Mat documentary when the two guys, the one who was like the insurance salesman and the other one who was the morgue guy, when they were wrestling for their tryout match, all the boys were looking at him in the monitor. And I remember one of the guys like, look, I'm stealing that finish. That's going to be my new finisher. This guy's getting a tryout. Get a new finish, kid.
You'll see it on television tonight.
100%.
No credit, nothing. You know what I mean? That's the way it goes, man. I mean, behind the scenes, I told Pat Tanaka, man, I appreciate that flying form, dog. You know, I never got a chance to talk to the great Muda because of the language barrier, and we were never in the same place at the same time. But for me to do the run the ropes the way the great Muda did back in the day, man, I stole it, man. I stole it. The way Bret Hart did that giant suplex, I stole it. I stole that giant suplex, man. But hey, man, but that was the name of the game. I told Bret Hart too, man. Hey, I gave him props, homage to the Bret Hart. More importantly, man, because I didn't think of it, but definitely, he was somewhere else, and I was totally over here doing it. I was like, man, I think I'm gonna do it like that, but put a little twist on it.
It's definitely the name of the game, and there's nothing wrong with it, because there's this saying that there's no such thing as an original idea, right? You get an idea, something inspires you to then come up with this idea, and then that idea inspires another person, right? So stealing isn't anything I think too bad, especially in the realm of entertainment and wrestling, unless it's jokes, right? Comedians, you can't steal a comedian's joke.
Yeah, man, they get hot about that. Yeah, you can get sued over a joke, seriously. But yeah, man, but it's like that, man. For me, it really ain't no big deal. I look at these young guys out there today, and I see a lot of influence from Booker T. Some of the moves, jumping side kick, scissor kick. When I see stuff like that, man, I go, man, that's pretty awesome. That's what I say.
Hell yeah.
And the thing is, you ain't got to call me for permission to use it. You know what I mean? Just if it can put, some money in your pocket,
do it. But isn't there like a little of a respect thing? Like, I know you say you don't care, but I can understand why some vets might say, hey, man, I don't mind you using the stunner. Just let me know you're going to use it. Right? Like give me, it's almost like you can do it. Okay, like this. Let me ask you this. It's like when you ask for your wife's hand in marriage, right? Before you ask her, you're supposed to call the dad, right? Now, if the dad says, I'm not giving you permission to marry my daughter, it can't stop you from doing it. You're just giving him, it's a courtesy call, right? I'm just letting you know.
Look, man, you know what? The thing is, it would be cool for the young guy today if they were going to just say, for instance, start doing the Stone Cold Stunner. Hey, drop a tweet to him and say, hey, bro, I'm going to be doing the Stunner, man, and I'm going to be paying homage to you when I do it. And I just want to thank you for the years growing up and all the memories, and hopefully I can keep it going on. Me personally, if I was Stone Cold Steve Austin and I saw a kid tweet something like that, I go, man, that's pretty cool, man. And I might tweet back to him, hey, man, go for it, young blood. Do your thing. But I could be one of these bitter old wrestlers and say, no, man, don't do my stuff. Don't do my stuff. You know what I mean? That's mine. I got a patent on it. And if you do it, I'm going to sue you. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of bitter wrestlers out there that might, I'm just saying, I'm not saying
but let me ask you this then.
They will get some money or anything, but go ahead.
Okay. So you're cool with the sidekick. A lot of people use the scissor kick before. I've seen the Harlem Hangover once or twice done on TV that wasn't by you. What if they did the spin-a-rooney? Like, let's say Carmelo Hayes drops down on one knee after every match and starts doing the spin-a-rooney. He doesn't call, he doesn't ask, and he calls it the spin-a-rooney, right? Do we have a problem there?
Well, we might have a problem with the name, spin-a-rooney.
The name,
but
right?
Doing the move, nah, man. Do your thing, young blood. That's my thing. I ain't gonna hate on someone doing something like that because every move I did along my wrestling career, none of it was original. None of it. I'm sure somebody from Beat Street is saying, man, spin-a-rooney. That ain't the spin-a-rooney. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? You know, that probably was the corniest name for the hip hoppers, in New York, watching me do the spin-a-rooney from Harlem, of course. They wonder what the hell is wrong with him. You know what I mean? So
they started trying to find out what borough you were really from so they could come see you. Where's this guy at?
You ain't lying, man.
What borough is he in? What set does he rep?
No, man, no. If somebody got something and they see I've done something, take it and run with it. And, I ain't one of them guys. But like I say, there again, it's a lot of guys out there would take offense to one of these young guys doing one of their moves. I've actually seen it. I think Taz was hot.
I think Taz was hot.
I think Taz was hot about some kid using one of his moves. Like, man, we need to be sitting down having a drink before we could talk about something.
Look, Taz just trying to get a free meal. All right, that's what he's.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, but yeah, man,
Shout out to Taz. Cali Toenail says,
Super Taz.
I'm tired of sweet chin music. Super kick. Now, how would you redo or add to that move? I don't think you can. Shawn Michaels did the best super kick. It's not even close. There's not even a close second, in my opinion.
You know what? It may not be. It may not be anyone who really compared to Shawn Michaels as far as putting that kick right on the spot. But I'm sure one of these young kids could, the way they are so innovative today, man, they can put some spice on that. They can make that look a little bit better. I think they could actually. And the thing for me, I don't know why I never really did a really, really good super kick. I don't know. Maybe it's the timing. Maybe it's the lower center of gravity that Sean had. I don't know, foot placement. I don't know what it was, but I like to jump. And for me, it just wasn't one of those moves that was one of my signatures. But I did it okay. But I think one of these young guys today, man, that go out and really do some of these spectacular moves could really take that one move and make it a little bit better. And the super kick, the name don't really have to change. Me personally, I don't know if Shawn Michaels would get offended by it because everybody called that the super kick.
Yeah, I mean, he called it the sweet chin music.
Yeah,
he called it. He didn't even call it the super kick. But I think that, I don't know, maybe I'm one of those guys who I always find the original is better. Like whoever did it first, I always think that they did it the best, right? There's been a million variations on the DDT. A million different. There's the tornado, there's the rodeo, there's the this, there's the that, right? But the Jake the Snake DDT just hit a little bit different for me.
Yeah, because the game was different back then, man.
Yeah.
Now they got that Canadian destroyer.
Yeah. Panama Sunrise. It has a million names.
Exactly. So it's so much out there right now that's being done. But when Jake did it, you believed it. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Independent wrestling is full of charismatic persona, incredible athleticism,
shooting star, press from pressure, cover,
and at times, complete chaos.
got attention. Don't do it, Will. Oh my gosh! Senton bomb through the table.
This is where the young guys, the young girls come today to pay their dues, to learn the craft, to start the journey to become the next wrestling superstar. I'm WWE Hall of Famer Booker T, and these are the Indies. Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Man, we got a whole lot to talk about, but Brad looked like he got that look.
I got him. I got looks. I got all the looks. We got super chats coming in. And you know what? While we have an engaged audience right now, I do want to remind everybody that January the 2nd going down in Dayton, Texas. That's the second day of January 2022, which doesn't even sound like a real year. We're going to be in Dayton, Texas.
Day 2, right?
Day 2. That's what we're calling it. Reality Wrestling Day 2. That's going down in Dayton. The following Saturday, January the 8th, a live television taping with Reality Wrestling in Texas City, Texas at the Booker T World Gym Arena. And then on January 22nd, 2022, we'll be in Canton, Texas for a special event. Our first time in Canton, Booker T. So all those going down. Go to realitywrestling.com, get your tickets for the event in your area. And don't worry. We're going to be traveling abroad as well soon, I'm sure, to other states. And maybe hitting that MGM again. I would love to do that. But those are the 3 dates we have in January. Go to realitywrestling.com. We do have super chats booked, but you want to speak on those?
Before you get to the super chat, we are going to be on the road. Roll on the go. Of course, that's what we're calling it. But Charmel, she cheered me up today. She showed me this nice puppy last night. She was at the pet store. She sent me a photo, and she said the name we were going to name him is going to be Rover.
ROWVER.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool. I tried to hate on it for a second, but I go, that is pretty good. It did cheer me up, but we definitely.
Did y'all get the dog? Did you get a new dog?
No, we're just thinking about it, but we definitely get another puppy.
I'm just giving him a free plug. Not far from where we are, there's a pet. I think it's called Pet Land. Have you ever seen this place?
No, I haven't.
It's right there on 45 and Bay Area Boulevard. It's called Pet Land, I think, and they have all kinds of dogs in there. I mean, it's hard for me to go to a shelter or go to a pet store because I am such a softie when it comes to animals that I just want to get them all. I just want to get every one of them. You know what I mean? Because I know they are so dependent on us, right?
Yeah,
animals,
man.
They're so dependent on what we provide, and if you give it to them, they give it back to you. So. Rover, though, I like this name. I think that Charmel has something there with Rover. That's a good name. You know what that is? That's a championship name.
It's a championship name. Seriously. Let's roll, man. Let's roll. We
got Jamal Studemeyer.
Super chat.
Should WWE give R-Truth a world title run, especially after everything he's been going through? Fans would get behind it organically. A Royal Rumble winner in 2022. I will say, big shout out to R-Truth. I think he just put his first album out. His first full-length album, Ron Killings did. So make sure you go support that, stream it wherever you can, download it, do all that stuff. I watched an interview of his on Hot 97. And R-Truth, when he's not doing the silly stuff and he's just talking, he's such an engaging person to listen to.
Definitely.
And he knows how to tell a story. Obviously, he's talented inside the ring. He's been positioned, though, as pretty much a comedy guy for the last 7 years or more, 8 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think that would be hard for him to make a turn if WWE put it behind him? And would the fans believe he could be a world champion, especially also at this stage in his career? I think R-Truth's got to be on the other side of 50, right? He's got to be 49.
I think he's still in his 40s. I'm not sure though. But the thing is, when you watch a guy like R-Truth go out and do his work and perform, I don't really think R-Truth as well, the company or himself perhaps have positioned himself to be in a world championship position, or do we want to be in a world championship position? More importantly,
talk about that.
That's the thing right there. Sometimes, from the outside looking in, you look at a character and he may be one of the guys that you really like. He may be one of your favorite characters and you want him to be the world champion. You want him to be in that position. But sometimes guys like myself, I never thought about being the world champion or anything. I never one day had aspirations or dreams of waking up the world champion one day. I just want to go out and perform. I'm from the neighborhood. I'm not quite sure how R-Truth grew up or anything like that, but I knew I knew the check and like I say, taking care of my family and being able to parlay this WWE thing into whatever I'm going to do next was so much more important than going out and winning the title. And I think R-Truth has done that very, very well. And I think the company has let R-Truth do that here, especially as of late, doing his albums, doing his music, traveling, doing shows to parlay this into whatever he's going to do next. And the thing is, just say, for instance, he won the world title. You might like that. But would everyone like it? And the thing is, you don't just want to try to shove something down someone's throat just for the sake of it. Now, on the looking at it from a different perspective, R-Truth, all of a sudden, do something in the ring and make it trigger, and then people actually get behind that and it actually works. How long is that going to take? It's a whole lot goes into putting someone in that position and making the people buy it from a realistic perspective. And for me personally, I think you could ask R-Truth, should he be the world champion right now? And he'll probably tell you no.
Right. I mean, I think that there was a time, though, I don't know, was that 2012 or 13, somewhere around there, where R-Truth and Miz were running together. I don't know if you remember that. They had their tag team together, and they actually went and they worked the main event at Madison Square Garden Survivor Series with Rock and Cena. And I think they had a storyline where they were getting fired. They were tearing stuff up. They were doing run-ins and invasions. That was a hot time for R-Truth, especially where maybe, you're positioning this guy with The Rock and John Cena. Yeah, at that time, I could have seen a world title run from R-Truth. I could have at least bought into it. I think now, it's just, I don't think the timing it would be right. I think it would, like you said, it would take a long time to it's like this. It's like this too. Like, you remember when they did Elimination Chamber and Santino almost won the Elimination Chamber, right? As the comedy character, it would have taken you out of the moment, because that moment's supposed to be like, this is the guy who's going to go to WrestleMania or the next pay-per-view and win the world title. Do I want him putting a cobra over his hand? And I'm not saying any disrespect to Santino. I'm just saying what his character was on TV at the time. Or better example, when Otis won Money in the Bank, I remember thinking, this is going to be the world champion? This guy? Not based on his look, not based on his ability, based on his character.
Exactly.
It didn't mesh well. Bell to bell, there's a reason why R-Truth's been with the company for as long as he has.
That's what people don't understand.
That guy just can work.
Well, he knows his job. He does his job very, very well. And R-Truth, I made a quote. They posted here on the on some site not too long ago, and it was about. I remember when I came to WWE. People could, look at me from a funny character when I first got there, and I changed it. But I remember, like R-Truth, I didn't care how small the role was. I would take that role and I would go out there and I would try to nail it every time. And I would come back through the curtain almost 10 times out of 10 times. Vince McMahon say, you did it again, Book. And that right there for me was enough. And I know R-Truth has gotten that a whole lot coming back through that curtain. And Vince is looking at it because, it is about entertainment. How many times have I said, in this business, you got to be able to laugh at yourself. If you ever get to the point where you think you can't laugh at yourself, it's time to move on. Remember I talked about how I thought Brodus Clay could have been a really, really, Brodus Clay could still be there today. You know what I mean? But he couldn't look at himself and laugh at himself and think about, man, how long can I parlay this? And that for me is the art of doing nothing and getting paid for it. So when I think on that level right there, man, I think about that more than I think about him being champion. I think his legacy is going to be built around the entertainment that he has brought to this game, more than the title runs or anything like that. And the thing is, I think even I know we got to take a break. Just say for instance, he win the world title. You think that's what the people are going to remember about R-Truth more than anything? And the reason I say that, Booker T being 35-time champion, when I go to conventions, the one thing people want to talk to me about more than anything is Booker T, Stone Cold in a grocery store. Book, how did it feel getting your ass kicked in a grocery store? We got to take a break, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
This is Booker T World Gym Arena in Texas City, the home to the Reality of Wrestling Training Center. It's a 20,000 square foot facility with more than 50 full-time students and wrestlers from around the world. Inside the World Gym Arena sits a 9,000 square foot venue set up for weekly shows.
From up top, 1-2 moonsault!
Where our students showcase their skills in front of a live audience.
What he's done here is awesome. He's created opportunity and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
In the back, a full weight room.
6 up!
Complete with state-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers.
There you go. Two more.
A full staff and office personnel.
One more.
Running the day-to-day operation. We have interview sets for TV production, promo classes, quarterly combines. We evaluate progression and team building. Referees, commentators, ring announcers, and live television production. At the World Gym Arena, we don't just teach you how to become a professional wrestler, but an elite sports entertainer. This is Reality of Wrestling.
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Bradley,
we got more. We have more. But one thing I wanted to say about what we were just talking about the prospect of R-Truth being a world champion in WWE, and you were talking about more people ask you about the grocery store fight than anything, and I think that's true. It's even we're around Christmas time, and sometimes I can't tell you a gift that I got for Christmas, right? But I remember how when I opened that gift, it made me feel, right?
Yeah.
I might not even remember the actual thing. I can just remember the feeling of, oh, I can't believe you did that for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, right? And I think that more than anything, people aren't going to remember what you did. They're going to remember how they made you feel. When you say R-Truth to me, I think, man, that guy was so entertaining. You know, I think of the time he popped Brock Lesnar on live television. You know, he's talking to Brock, and Brock couldn't help but crack. And speaking of that, there was actually a thing of going around the internet of, they said the one time Vince McMahon actually broke on television and started laughing during a skit, and it was with you and him. Did you see that going around the internet?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
So it was, I think, the same show as the grocery store. I believe it was the same show, and Vince is talking to you on the phone.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I think I do remember that. Yeah.
And you saying, you think, yeah, well, I'm getting out here. I'm about to go play some bingo. And he just goes, you know, and then he like gets back into back into character.
Yeah. I remember that, man. I had so much fun doing that too, man, because it was just pure entertainment. I was given a chance to find myself as a performer. And when I came to WWE, I didn't have that. Same with R-Truth. Before R-Truth came to WWE, all we remember R-Truth, what we remember about R-Truth more than anything before he came to WWE is, man, this guy trying to be Booker T. I'm just playing. But he stole all my moves. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. You talk about somebody stealing somebody's stuff, okay? R-Truth stole all my stuff immediately after I would do it.
Hey, man, you're smart.
Everything.
He said it's working for this guy.
But
I'm gonna do it.
But he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
He was the guy that would go out and wrestle. And then when he came to WWE, he became a performer. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I can guarantee you 100%. If you ask R-Truth, which part of his career he would rather have the most, not which one he liked. Okay,
Which one he'd rather have?
Exactly my point. Okay, because I'm sure when he was wrestling, he wasn't making the money he was making when he was performing.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, the thing is, R-Truth was a world champion. He was the NWA world champion when TNA had ownership of that title, and he knows what it's like. But I think you've spoken to it more than anybody about the demands of being the world champion. And the demands of being the world champion when you're 40, you know, when you were, that was with King Booker, you're about 40, 41-ish.
Yeah.
Is a lot different than being, late 40s, being the world champion, being almost 50, being the world champion. I mean, the demands are just so different on the body. Like you said, your first segment, your last segment, your mid-show, you're the main event, you're the dark main event, you're doing all the media.
Well, not just that. I always talk about the world title, and the world championship. Let's just say the world championship. Okay, the championship is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's this right here behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the title, world champion, for me, meant that you're the guy representing the company. You're the guy that, just say, for instance, when we go on all of these house shows, your name is on the marquee. All the pressure is on you. Now, when we go to these house shows and it's a 10,000 seat arena and it's sold out and there's some people outside wanting to get in, and man, we know our check's gonna look good at the end of the week. We go to whoever's in the main event and we go, man, I appreciate the house, dog. Man, I appreciate the house. Well, you contributed to the house. You know that. But the main event guy, all the pressure's on him. The people should be coming to see him. Do you want to put a guy like that in that kind of position to have that kind of pressure on him? And, I would, there again, it's a time and it's a place for someone like that to be a champion, world champion. And is now the time or the place? You answer that question.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go there.
Yeah. One other thing though, in R-Truth, did you ever hear about this fight that he had with John Cena in the airport? Was that a real thing? Did you ever hear about that? I always heard that when R-Truth was in TNA, Cena was on top in WWE. They were both the rapping wrestler, right? They ran into each other at an airport and they started arguing with one another, and there was like a shoving altercation, and Truth put hands on him.
You know what? I gotta think that was fiction.
Fiction.
It don't sound real.
Yeah, I've always heard it, but I never knew.
It could be true. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not true. But what I'm saying is it just doesn't smell of truth. You know what I mean? When somebody, just making up something to make it sound juicy. But I don't see John Cena being rude to someone, especially someone in the business first and foremost. And I don't see R-Truth. And wrestlers just don't. Back then, we ain't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
when I saw somebody from WWF and I was in WCW, like I said, I ran into Owen Hart, getting in the sauna. Man, I was like, man, what's up, man? Nice to meet you, man, because I was a fan, so right. I cannot see something like that actually really happening. I just can't.
We have more super chats coming in right now. This one from Vitamin Vision.
Super chat.
As a B-boy, I always loved your spinneroonie. In the B-boy world, we call that a back spin to shoulder spin. One love from BK NYC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure the boys in the boroughs was like, man, what spinneroonie? But when you think about it, it's a cool name.
It's not bad.
You know what I'm saying? You go, man, spinneroonie. I should have thought of that. It's one of those type of deals, you know what I mean? So I got to pass. I got to pass with it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all the brothers, you know what I mean?
Here we go, Cali Toenail.
Super chat.
LMFAO, day 2, the row, about that life. Good stuff. Yeah, appreciate you, Cali Toenail. Here's our man, though, Roland Curtis.
Super chat.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was chasing Booker T in the grocery store. Austin was beating him up badly. Austin stopped for 2 seconds, and boom, Booker took Austin's head off with a loud, wicked super kick. The timing was excellent.
You know what? That was one of my best super kicks ever.
It was a good one.
It was perfect. It was right on the money. Extension, everything. I remember the arms being, all cocked to the side, you know what I mean, at the same time. But that is, man. Poetry in motion, going out there having some fun. Me and Steve Austin, we've talked about that on a few occasions. And there again, man, 2 badasses that could still go out and do what I was looking at one of the something on Twitter, and they was talking about trying to get the Undertaker to do the spinneroonie.
Oh yeah, I'm
gonna tell you, man. It wasn't a time where we wasn't having fun back then on the road, working our behinds off, trying to entertain it to the best we possibly could, but we entertained ourselves at the same time. It was unlike any era of this business, I think, that's ever been. Being able to do stuff like that. There again, going out and doing something like that with Stone Cold Steve Austin in a grocery store. Of course, that's on paper, that doesn't work.
Right. Shouldn't work.
I mean, come on, that doesn't work on paper. People aren't talking about that 20 years later on paper. You know what I mean? It should be something that happened and people forgot about, and I mean, so much stuff has happened between now and then in wrestling, but so many people still now are just discovering Booker T and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the grocery store, and they like it too, so it was something that captured people and made them, there again, feel a certain way when they watch this stuff.
That's what it's all about. Roland comes in with another one.
Super chat.
And we'll take this one before we go to the break here. R-Truth claims to be the first ever black NWA world champion because he won it in TNA. I know you guys said that Booker never won the NWA title, but when you Google first black NWA champion, Ron Simmons comes up. Well, I think that it was the WCW title under the NWA banner, right?
I think Ron Simmons was the WCW. I think Ron Simmons was
He was WCW champion.
Yeah,
because he had the WCW title belt that had the globe on it.
Yeah,
and the WCW at the top.
Yeah, I think R-Truth is the first NWA Black World Champion, and I give him props for that, man. I give him props for that because Crockett Promotions back in the day, we didn't see no color at the top of the ladder, world champion back then. We just didn't see that, so for R-Truth to actually break that glass ceiling and become the first Black NWA world champion, I think it's awesome. But the question being, do you remember what do you remember about R-Truth's career more than anything? Do you remember the NWA championship or all the moments R-Truth is giving you? Which one?
I don't remember the NWA title. I couldn't tell you who he won it off of. I couldn't tell you who he lost it to.
There it is. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Me and Brad, we just here doing our thing, letting you guys get a little piece of the action. Champagne, caviar dreams, baby. That's what it's all about. I want to wish everybody a happy holidays as well, and be safe out there, guys. Don't drink too much. Especially don't drink and drive. A lot of accidents happen over the holidays, seriously. But what we got, man? We good?
We have more stuff. We got another super chat that we got to get to here. And I guess it's time. I wanted to ask you something else, but we'll go to this first.
Super chat.
It's from the real Giannis. Showed a friend some MJF clips on YouTube that weren't related to wrestling, and she thought he was hilarious. Compared him to Cartman from South Park. He's a special talent. Of course, MJF. I think we've all noticed how great he is just on the mic and his character and his promo ability. So much so. He's even said on a couple of occasions in 2024, I'm going to start a bidding war. And it sounds like the USA Network, Fox, Vince McMahon, all high, according to reports on MJF, kind of eyeing for potential MJF to WWE in a few years. We'll see if that happens. But what do you think about all this news related to MJF as of late?
Hey, man, he's the smartest guy out there right now. He's the smartest guy out there. Bar none, as far as the situation goes, as far as the internet goes, making people buy into, MJF, not anything else. It ain't about, how high he can fly or anything like that. It's not about, how well of a grappler he is or anything like that. It's about MJF. And that right there is something that's uncanny for the today's wrestling and the way the young guys go out there and do it. He easily could have been trending. Let's say that for saying, and WWE sucks, and all of the guys there suck along with it. He could have easily been trending for that, but. You remember what I talked about earlier when we was talking about R-Truth? Some of these guys actually think about their bank account. Some of these guys actually think about, how much, money I could actually make in this business. How can I parlay the art, what I call the art of doing nothing? How can I parlay that into a big stack of cash? How can I do that? Some guys are actually thinking, and he's literally one of the best to actually just make that statement right there. That put your boss on notice, because I work for you. And the thing is, this is the thing right here. When I worked for WCW, all of those years, every time my contract came up, I don't know how they got the message to me, but they got a message to me saying, hey, bro, if you ain't happy over there, boom, we'll love to talk to you. Every time. You know what I mean? And I never said anything about it. I never talked to anybody about it, but it felt good, to know that, man, these guys, they're talking about, wanting to bring me in. So I know they're going to pay me to bring me in. That's the position that he's in right now. And it's a very, very unique position. And I applaud him for it 100%.
I think that MJF is, like you just said, at the end of the day, just a smart businessman and knows what his value is and knows what his potential value is. And look, Brock did it, right? Brock did it with UFC, though, right? Every time Brock's contract started to come up in WWE, he said, I think I want to fight again. And then all of a sudden, he got some great contract to not fight again. Going on ESPN saying, I'm a sports entertainer, right? And MJF is just doing the same thing. He's playing the companies between each other, which is what he should do.
The one Dark Side of the Ring episode with Brian Pillman.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that one?
Oh yeah, yes.
And he pretty much played one company against the other one.
Yeah,
going out there staging an angle.
Yeah, got himself fired, got himself released in storyline so he could.
Bro, how smart was that? That's beautiful. That's MJF before his time. You know what beautiful. I mean? So for me to watch this happen and play out, man, I applaud it, man, because I tell every one of these young guys, take notes from MJF. You might learn something. You might learn something opposed to going on the internet and say, because everything's good when everything's good. But when everything's bad, oh my goodness, that's what guys need to think about.
Look, MJF is in the middle of a feud right now with CM Punk, and I'm sure they're going to be wrestling probably at the next pay-per-view. If they can stretch it that far, which they probably can. He needs to be handing CM Punk his first loss in AEW, and this man needs to be the next AEW world champion. That's how I feel right now. I feel like he's a world champion who can draw a crowd, right? And I'm not saying Hangman can't or Omega couldn't or whatever. Omega was a great heel champion, but you wanted to see Kenny Omega wrestle. Right, and he had to go out there and beat Kenny Omega in the ring. He couldn't really cheat you on the match.
No, but but one thing I do like, I like that though.
Oh, I like it. I wasn't mad at it, but I'm saying this is why I think MJF would be a more compelling heel champion, is because he can cheat you out of it. He can do all the old school and new school heel tactics in order to draw an audience to see this man get beat. Right. And somehow he always pulls it off. I can't wait. I can't wait for his world title run.
You know what?
Or any title run, TNT title, whatever.
I'm not going to sit here and say he would be a bad champion or anything like that, or a great champion or anything like that. The one thing, how old is MJF?
25 or 6.
25, 26. A new company like AEW, of course, you can give them the ball and let them run with it. But I just think just giving this guy a little bit more time to do his work and do what he's doing right now, which is establishing himself as one of the best. When he finally get it, it's going to take a while to get it off of him. So I wouldn't want to put it on him too soon. That's just my opinion.
It's a good point.
Wouldn't want to put it on him too soon, because MJF, he could be one of those generational talents that hold on to the belt for 2 years straight. if he's in the right position to do that. And the only way you can be in the right position to do this, and all the veterans would tell you and agree with me on this, is you can be a great talker, but you got to be able to go out there and go and be a general every night in the middle of the ring. So that's what I would want to give MJF a little bit more time to work on this in-ring generalship. I'm talking about from every perspective, from a coach's perspective. And that's what I see. I wouldn't want to do it right now.
But let me ask you this. Okay, that's the second part of what I see happening in his immediate future. Is he the guy to give CM Punk his first loss?
Yeah.
That's the guy, right? It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, but I don't want to book the show.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Is he a guy that's capable of beating CM Punk and people believe in it? If done the right way, yeah. I mean, the storyline could go on, but I don't want to book the show. I don't want to be on here being like a lot of guys in a lot of other places talking about what they should be doing and how they should be booking it. You could do that, but not me.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see what the future holds for MJF. I do think that you make a great point as far as him being more of a ring general before he gets it. I see so much in the guy.
You're just happy. You're a fan. You know what I mean? You're a fan. You want to see him. You remember what I told? Remember what I said about young people in reality of wrestling?
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
No, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about as far as when people watch the show, and you're a fan when you watch that show. Young people, see someone like MJF in that position, makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Might make you think you can go and win the AEW World Championship one day. You know what I mean?
I know I'm taller than half those guys.
Well, so what I'm saying is, I get it. I totally understand. But me watching MJF from a performer perspective, he can work. Take nothing away from him. But, I'm going to be looking at it totally different than you're going to be looking at it. That's why I say I need MJF to get a little bit more time doing his work right now before we want to move him to the next level. Because when we move you to this next level, dude, it's going to be like a Cena run. All right. So you got to be ready for that.
Fair enough. We'll see what the future has in store for MJF. There are some things happening outside of the wrestling world that I do think that we should talk about. Jake Paul's back in the news, and there's a lot of weird NBA news coming out. And there was one particular story I kind of wanted to get your opinion on as an OG, as a vet of this game. So I guess I'll get it from you on the other side of the break.
Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
And that's a stunning elbow to the face. Oh, and look at this. She just raking Angela's face across the middle. Oh, my goodness. That's hard to watch. Oh, man, what does she think? Oh, no. Top rope suplex. Superplex from the champion. If enough damage hasn't been done already to Angela, that has got to be the exclamation point. She's looking for the 450. Oh! From the top rope. She's calling for shooting star press. Star press. Shooting star press cover. 1, 2, 3. Sucker.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Jake Paul is back in the news, but you still look like you got something on your mind. Like what, man? What is it?
Well, there is something on my mind. I do want to talk about Jake Paul, but there was an interesting story that came out there's been a lot of weird stuff in the NBA. I don't know if you've been following a lot this season, but the COVID stuff is running crazy in the NBA. Kyrie's actually going to finally get to play because they don't have enough players. 40-year-old Joe Johnson just got another contract for 10 days with the Celtics because they don't have enough players. But that's not the interesting to me. And I just kind of want your perspective on this as an OG. Is Steph Curry, right? A guy who revolutionized the game of basketball, three-point king, going to go down as the all-time three-point scorer, one of the greatest point guards in the history of the game, perhaps the best shooter to ever live. He had a thing that came out, him and his wife, Aisha Curry, who has a restaurant here in Houston, restaurant in Vegas, and other places. You might know where I'm going with this. They had a thing that came out that they have a relationship, that a marriage that is open, where they can go and have little side pieces and run around town with different gals and guys on a frequent basis, right? This also reminds me of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, who have one of these kind of open relationship type things. As somebody who's been married now for 16 years, 17 years, just short of somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It's a very long time. How do you feel about that and that being out there about yourself? Because I remember you telling me a long time ago, hey, if you're out and you're creeping on your wife or whatever, somebody might not say something to you, but they're going to lose respect for you, right?
Yeah.
They may never treat you different, but they're not going to respect you the same that they did before.
At your job.
At your job. At your job, right?
Yeah.
So for me, having that business out there now in the public, I feel like could really hurt me in the workplace in several different ways. First off, especially if I'm on the court, can you imagine another player talking smack, being like, hey, yo, I went out with your wife last night, right? And then you have to think about in your mind, did he? Like, I don't know, right? And then all the stuff that the boys will probably give you in the locker room. I don't know. I just feel like that's information that shouldn't have never come out at all. I don't know if I judge him or them for having said relationship. It's not something that I would want to be involved with. But what do you think about that whole thing? Because I just found it fascinating.
It's according to where you're at in your life, man. I can't judge.
Right.
Yeah. And say, man, he wrong for doing that, or she wrong for, doing this. The one thing, do they got kids? They got kids, right?
They have children, yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing that concerns me more than anything is the kids. Now, if they were single and doing that, more power to them.
Yeah, whatever.
It might bring spice to the relationship. You know what I mean? But with the kids involved, that right there is kind of touchy. I don't know how old the kids are, how much they know about this kind of stuff. Because what you do, your kids, follow suit.
Sure.
That's just normally the way it works. I'm not, saying that's wrong or anything like that, but that's normally the way it works. So that's the only thing that bothers me with the situation. If it's something that, like my sister say, if you like it, I love it. It's one of them type of deals. Now, on the other hand, just say, for instance, you and your wife, you've been married a long time, and you want to spice it up in the bedroom, and you want to bring someone in, and everybody knew about it. You disagree on that as well?
Do I disagree on it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with the whole open relationship thing to begin with. It's not something for me, right?
No, I'm just saying. Saying. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, people can do whatever they want to behind closed doors, but it be behind closed doors, right? I don't need everybody knowing my business.
Your problem is everybody knowing about it.
That's the issue. I think that's the issue, right?
But now it doesn't seem that way because it seems to me. I mean, I'm just saying. It seems a little bit to me like you care about it.
What do you mean?
Like it bothers you.
No, I don't. I think that the open relationship thing is whatever works for your situation works for your situation. I don't care what you're doing behind closed doors. But that's behind closed doors.
I'm just saying, but it doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother me. No,
Yeah,
no, it doesn't bother me.
I was just saying.
It doesn't bother me, but
Yeah.
it's not something that I would do.
You know,
Right.
the reason I say that is because I say that all the time about gay people. I say, man, I
Right.
don't care what you do, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care as long as you ain't hitting on me.
Right.
Okay. But other than that, do your thing, and I don't need to know about it. You know, but it seems like
that's my point. Yeah, it's like
they had to get it out there. But maybe somebody else leaked it. Maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else leaked it.
But don't you think that could just, I don't know. It just
But-
seems like it causes problems. Like, because then you'll end up like Will Smith on the Red Table Talk, where Jada Pinkett talking about taking August Alsina, you know what I'm saying, and saying I was in an entanglement with this man, and then emotions get involved.
Man,
I don't know.
Look here, Steph Curry ain't finna stop hitting threes. Okay, that
From
right.
the sounds of it, he's been hitting Tims, is what it's been sounding like.
Exactly my point. You know, and Steph Curry might like the arrangement. You know what I mean? He might dig it. You know, and that's the only thing really that matters in that situation right there. Whoever leaked it, if they leaked it, you know, maybe they off into that. Maybe they finna get a reality show after the basketball thing. You never know. So I'm serious, dog.
But you know, I don't know. Like, here's the thing: you couldn't have your wife. And I'm not saying Charmel's obviously your wife, but I'm just saying any relationship that you're in, you as a general, you out here with other men. How's that going to make you feel? Not going to make you feel good.
The thing is, it ain't for me to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the thing. You know, sometimes with like I said, I don't know how old Steph Curry's kids are, but they're gonna figure it out sooner or later in the world that people have sex, they have kids and stuff and whatnot. If they lived in Europe, they would know at a lot earlier age, because it's just more open over there. Stuff like this being done,
not as taboo.
No, I remember being in Germany and being invited to a party one night, and you don't even want to know the rest of the story on air. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I could not believe it. I could not believe what this man wanted me to do. And he's mad, so I'm like, man, so you just never, think about it like that when you're from America. Over there, that stuff been happening, forever. So I can't judge Steph Curry, because sex is not something that's new. People been doing it forever. People been doing it different forever. So in certain places, a man could have as many wives as he want,
True.
So it's so much debate that could go around that question right there. For me, if like I say, like my sister Benita say, man, if they like it, I love it, man. Cool, big deal.
Kanye had a song where he said in the song, he said, "Please keep it discreet. Keep my business out of the streets," right? And that's all I think that they should do. Like, not everybody needs to know your business.
Wait a minute. Who you said wrote that song?
Kanye said that.
Wait a minute. Who?
Kanye West.
And you quoting Kanye?
Well, it's just that I'm quoting the sentiment in the song. I'm not considering the
but
source.
wait a
I'm
minute.
considering the sentiment.
What I'm saying is, you quoting Kanye, the person who actually, those are his notes, and he's the craziest person in the world.
But that line makes sense.
Yeah, the line
keep it discreet.
The line
keep my business out of the streets.
The line makes sense if you quoted somebody else. Okay.
Okay. George Washington once said,
exactly my point.
Please keep it discreet.
Yeah, okay, that's better.
Keep my business out of the streets.
Kanye West. Are you serious?
Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like you, if you're gonna do all that, like I said, behind closed doors, and not everybody gonna know about it.
Man, it ain't what they may think it's nothing to hide. It's nothing to hide.
Maybe not.
I mean, maybe they got an arrangement. Look, man, don't mess with no ball players. All right. You stay away from the strippers. Okay, good, cool. What? Maybe that's the deal. Maybe that's. Hey, don't do it with somebody I know. Okay, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you don't think that it says something about their relationship, like it's not strong?
It perhaps.
Yeah.
And the thing is it something that perhaps is doomed? From this point. Perhaps, yes. But in Hollywood, man, they get married, they get divorced, they get married, divorced.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Come on, dog. You know what I mean? We can't talk about these guys like they, the pure as the driven snow. We can't do that. No, I'm
Pure as the driven snow.
That's the only way I can
What you know about snow? You live in Texas your whole damn life. You don't know nothing about no pure driven snow.
I heard the quote somewhere. Okay.
I think Kanye said it.
I don't think Kanye said that. I had to literally dig deep to come up with it too, you know what I'm saying? We gotta take a break, man.
Oh, we do.
I took that Moderna today, man. I took that Moderna, and
Good.
it knocked me down for a second, but I'm back on track now, man. I'm back on track. I'm in the gym. I'm training. You know what I mean. As soon as we finish the show tonight, I'm getting right back in the gym. But stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Now, Sting.
Would you? Let me ask you this: would you ever compete in a cinematic match?
No.
That's
not my realm of expertise. I don't think Booker T's name requires being in that type of match. Those type of matches, that cinematic match. I think it works when you got a guy like Sting, when you got a guy like the Undertaker, when you got characters like that, or maybe even Bray Wyatt.
right.
It may work with certain characters, but for just Booker T, the guy that grew up right there in South Park, Texas, no, that boy there, man, he's OG. He's bad to the bone. 258 pounds of romping, stomping, grave digging destruction. If you're gonna get somebody, he's gonna get him right there in the middle of the ring. I'm gonna be just like Jey Uso. Let me get him. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it. Can you dig it, sucker? Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Hey, man, in the morning around 9 o'clock Central Time, I will be Instagram Live again. 5-minute workout with Booker T. Going to be talking about You're Worth It, this new vitamin supplement that definitely kicks me in gear and get me motivated to get in the gym and perform, train. Going to talk about that in the morning, guys. 9 a.m. Central Time, Instagram Live with your boy. And we're going to have some cool music, man. This morning we had that boy Chris Brown, Rick Ross, Promise. The beat, man. It's all about the beat. And I might throw a little pop locking in there throughout the session as well. So tune in, guys, in the AM with your boy, the 5-time champ.
Hell yeah. We got to talk about Jake Paul here. One more from Cali Toenail.
Super chat.
BT, you got great advice. Appreciate you, Cali. BT, you got great advice on taking moves and let yours and make them yours. I'm sorry. What's your advice to Hollywood on remaking shows and movies we've already seen, like Different Strokes, Jeffersons, Facts of Life, Rod Sterling, Alfred Hitchcock did it all?
You know what? It's so freaking hard to reinvent the wheel. You got shows like that, and we all love them. Me personally, on Sanford and Son, Red Fox. It's so hard to get people to play those roles the way those guys did it back then. Just like wrestling today. We talking about movies. One of my favorite movies of all times is Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
And you
Charleston Heston.
Oh, good God. You watch Ben-Hur from back then, and you try to watch this new one that came out in like 2014 or something like that. You're going to go, wow. I mean, of course, we had the CGI and everything today, but, man, those guys had something back then that we didn't have, and that was just the means and will and know-how to go out there and make you believe, because we ain't got all that other stuff. So we got to do what we got to do. The 10 Commandments. You go back and watch the 10 Commandments. You think they can create that movie the way they did it back then today? No way. No way. So I just think some things are just best left alone, and we try to create a new, just like we, the new Spider-Man movie on it. I think they did a great job. Just seen it over last couple of days.
Was it not excellent?
Awesome movie. And the thing is, they just got to figure out how to do that better, because I see today so many of the CGI movies that suck. And they got so much more means than those guys had back then. I think that's just a way of life more than anything.
I agree. I mean, the remakes they're either hit or miss. Like I saw the new Ghostbusters that they did. The Ghostbusters was good. I enjoyed the new Ghostbusters one. I enjoyed Spider-Man, but sometimes they do it like they did another new Ghostbusters 4 or 5 years ago. It was awful. It was terrible. It's just all about the story. I think that we rely too much on name property to try to sell a story. I think you can easily invent something new and create a new legacy instead of wanting to always rehash an old one.
It's like when they tried to make Speed Racer a movie.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm. Like,
the Wachowskis, I think.
Like, come on, you can't do that. Yeah. And the thing is, it's all about money, man. It's all about money. If somebody, we make it there, if we build it, they will come. It's one of those type of deals. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say, in the Spider-Man movie, I did not think, and you tell me, just didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. Like, I laughed throughout the majority of the movie. It was super emotional. The characters were well developed.
Only reason I went is because of kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I didn't think I was going to like the movie or anything like that. Just because it takes a lot to make me feel a certain way, and I'm always looking to critique. That's just one of my things. Charmaine, I hate going to movies with me. She never used to think that way, but if something's out of place, I'm gonna find it. And she goes, man, I never saw that before, and now you're messing it up for me. It's one of those types.
You ruined it.
Yeah, but definitely, man. We got any more super chats, man? Because we got to get on the shake talk, man.
We do. We have two more. Another one from Callie.
Super chat.
I think Callie must have been hitting that eggnog early. This man's out here super chatting. We appreciate you, man. What are you guys' holidays tradition? What's on the menu? What are you sipping on? What do you hope to get? I'm rolling with 2 pots of gumbo, smoked ham, mac, sweet potatoes, collard greens, rolls, and dressing. Wow, man, you're having a feast over there, Callie.
No, I'm gonna be at Callie Toenails place.
Hell yeah!
Just put some Cavassier on ice with that, and definitely, man. But that sounds good right there, man. Especially that gumbo, man. That gumbo is a monster. But the thing with the gumbo, see, I'm from Louisiana. You got to make sure the roux. Make sure the roux got to be right, and it takes time and preparation to actually get that part right, to actually make everything come together properly. So definitely, and them collard greens, man, you talking my kind of talking, them sweet potatoes, man. I like the yams, man. All that is on my list right there, except for the ham, dog. I've been trying to stay away from the pork, other than the bacon. I eat a little bacon every now and then, like every morning. But other than that, man, I like everything on the menu right there, man. I'm gonna throw some meat in there. I don't know what kind right now. Maybe that turducken.
A little turducken action. I feel you.
Yeah.
I think we talk about this. I think we talked about this before, but we have a family tradition of things that we drink. We drink this stuff called wassail every Christmas. Did we have we talked about the wassail before?
No.
Yeah. Do you know what wassail is?
Sound like some water with some hot sauce or something.
I can't, honestly. I've been drinking it my whole life. I don't really even know what's in it. I know it has to do with orange and cinnamon and some kind of cider.
It doesn't have any alcohol in it?
No alcohol, no.
What the hell y'all drinking it for?
We have another super chat.
Super chat.
Roland Curtis. Interesting, the Booker said the controversy won't stop Steph hitting from threes. Another man that revolutionized his game was Tiger Woods. After his multi-women sex scandal, Tiger's skills died. Shooting is mental too, Booker T.
No, I'm not saying that it's not. But I'm saying that it's not a problem with the wife. or anything like that. She cool with it. I'm cool with it. It's been working so far. I don't think they just start doing this, is what I'm saying. Okay, so I don't think it's affected his game. Tiger Woods is a totally different story, a totally different animal. Tiger Woods was a very, very well-respected person in the golf community, and he was a married man. And then the scandal breaks that he got 20 women on the side, and he got this woman. He was like the president getting busted. He was literally like the United States of the presidency getting busted, on YouTube. That I'm serious.
Right.
That's the way it was for him. And so that situation totally different than Steph Curry's situation, man. Like I say, that's two consenting adults saying, man, it's cool. Everything's fine. Maybe they were having problems before. Maybe they were about to go through a divorce. Maybe let's try to figure out what we got to do. Because sometimes when you get married, sometimes, you believe in those vows. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you go out, you go all in, and you do what you got to do for each other. So, like I say, man, I don't think that's going to mess his game. I tell you what, let's look over the next, month and see what he do, what his numbers are, and then we'll
see. But the other guys on the other team are going to be saying stuff on the court. No, I remember they absolutely are. I remember one time I think it was Kevin Garnett was playing against Melo. So it must have been like the Celtics versus the Knicks or something like that. And Kevin Garnett, when Melo was on him, said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, your wife, Lala, tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios." That's what he said.
Yeah, the thing is, Lala out there all over the place. Who hadn't hit Lala?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay, but even then,
what I'm saying is, I don't
look. Somebody says your wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios, you're getting upset.
I'm not finna get upset about that, man.
You're gonna get mad. Come on.
Yeah, if I'm playing a game with somebody, what if I say somebody's mama? Okay.
Well, then it's on.
Exactly my point. So you can say something about me. I can say something about. So that's just playing the dozens, man. That's child's play. I don't think that. I really don't think. You got to be debating with me here, right? You just got to be doing this for fun, because ain't no way you think Steph Curry finna stop hitting shots because somebody say your wife tastes like honey melon, whatever.
Honey melon. That might even be more. That might be more disrespectful. Your wife tastes like a honey melon.
Whatever. So I'm like, come on, man. Now I don't think. I just do not think.
Callie says, but we snap in the hood. He said, if you say that out in the neighborhood, that might be a problem.
Yeah, but Steph Curry, what hood you seen him in? What hood did Steph Curry grow up in?
Bel Air? I don't know where the hell he's from.
Steph Curry's hoodness. Okay, so come on. You guys are tripping. Go, Callie, I give you some credit, dog. But no, you think that's what's going to corrupt you and totally just throw you off. And if put yourself in Steph Curry's position, and you say, "Man, I can't shoot no more. I'm done. I might as well retire. I can't do this no more."
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
People gonna ridicule me. I think
I will. I'm going to be interested to see the next 2 weeks what his stats are. If his stats remain the same, then there's no problem.
I'll tell you, that's the last thing Steph Curry is going to be thinking about when he's out there on the court. You're in the Hall of Fame, guys. Stick around.
Honey melon.
We'll be back in a minute.
And your question for the win. In The Insider, Al Pacino's character works on which TV show?
Is it 60 Minutes?
And your winner!
The Movie Trivia Schmodown, the most competitive movie trivia league in the world.
It's MMA or boxing. It's like you want to see the two best scrapping it out.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
2 points. Movie release date.
Wow.
Danny DeVito.
That's correct. You mother. The rising sun. And your winner!
Championships, factions, the best in the world play here.
I'm ready to schmo down. Throw down with the schmo down.
Kevin
why we play the Schmodown.
The professional sports league of movie trivia. This isn't bar trivia. This is the movie trivia Schmodown.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I mean,
What's wrong with you?
Everybody like this Steph Curry talk, man. I'm serious, man. I mean, like I say, dog, you know, my thing is this. I always tell people, you never know what you're going to do until you're in the situation. You never know.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could be in it right now, you know, with you and your lady, and next thing you know, she come in the room and say, Brad, we need to talk. All right? We need to talk right now. And you like, baby, what's up? You know? Well, everything's cool, man, but you ain't been performing like I need you to. You know, it's something from that point on, it could go, whoop, you know, and if you're one of those guys, you go to, like the guy that I met in overseas, he gonna say, baby, what you want? What you need?
No, that's when I go to yourworthit.com/Booker T.
Get your kick in, man.
Get my kick in. You know what I'm
Get
saying?
mine in early, man. I already told y'all, Mel, you know, it's going to be home. As soon as I get out work, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Better have that red thing on, girl.
Yeah, you driving, man. But no, man. No, man. Give a man a break. Give a man a break.
Give a man a break. Well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Right? Just knocked out Tyron Woodley. Boom.
Yeah.
Spectacular knockout. Now he's calling out another UFC fighter.
You know, before we even get there.
Oh, yeah.
The question is, let's stay there for 1 second. The question is, I was listening to Sean O'Malley, and he said that KO knockout ruined the legacy of Tyron Woodley. Do you agree? Do you agree or disagree with that?
Ruin the legacy? I think I disagree with that.
Think about it for a second.
I think I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think that his last, what was it, 3 fights? How many fights did he lose in a row in the UFC? 4?
4 in a row.
4 in a row? I think that does more to hurt his legacy.
I disagree, man.
Than this one knockout in a sport that he hasn't competed in.
I totally disagree.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would that ruin his legacy?
Well, he's never been knocked out.
Did it ruin Holyfield's legacy?
Let me give you my point. Okay. He's never been knocked out like that in the sport that he was, you know, not the greatest at.
Right.
And then to go over and have a boxing match with a guy who's definitely got an advantage in boxing over you.
Mm-hmm.
And you go out there and get knocked out, just like Ben Askren did. You know, I think that should, right there, I think it screws his legacy up because it's going to wake up every guy in the UFC to say, man, I'm not going, I know you're getting the Masvidal, but these guys are going to be like, man, are you stupid? Come over here and fight us if you want to fight. That's what it's going to be. The guys that fought, you know, Jake Paul, those guys were obviously just looking for a payday. That's going to be the end. That's going to be the end, you know, clause, you know, as far as, you know, the way it's going to be written about these guys. Not everything that he did before that. No one's going to be talking about Tyron Woodley championship fights in Strikeforce or the UFC after getting knocked out like that. No one ever remember nothing else. That's the exclamation point on Tyron Woodley's career. That's why his legacy in the UFC and him being a Hall of Famer perhaps would never be written in that sport.
I just don't agree with the fact of Jake Paul knocking him out is going to diminish his overall legacy. In a sport like it's like this, okay, like Michael, I'm not comparing. I shouldn't compare Tyron Woodley to Michael Jordan. That's kind of a crazy one, but you know, Michael went and played a different sport, didn't really succeed at it.
You can't compare those two. Tyron Woodley, the only thing that he could hold on to was his UFC career in in his Strikeforce career before he came there, and talk about, man, he was a champion. He did very well. But there again, what have you done for me lately? Losing 4 fights in the UFC,
I think
and then going and getting knocked out by a YouTuber. Okay, Jake Paul's a pretty good fighter, but he's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber. And I say I can tell you this, and I can almost guarantee you this: it won't be any more UFC guys stepping up to fight Jake Paul anytime soon. Trust me.
okay. I don't agree or disagree with that statement. What I think is it did more. I think his legacy was damaged more by his 4 losses in the UFC in a row than his 2 losses in a sport that he never trained in.
I disagree, man.
Okay. I mean, agree to disagree.
I mean, I disagree because, it's 4 fights in a sport that,
So what was a worse loss, to Colby Covington or to Jake Paul?
No, what I'm saying is he lost in what was worse was the Jake Paul fight.
That was a worse loss for him?
Heck yeah.
For his legacy.
Losing in your own sport against a fighter of a caliber of a Colby Covington, a guy who can beat anyone in that division, is not something that I can feel bad about. Going and get a YouTuber and get knocked out.
He didn't get beat in an octagon. He got beat standing up in a boxing ring, which he has no professional experience at.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he got
0.
knocked. The end of the day, the only thing people are going to remember about Tyron Woodley, because he wasn't that great of a personality, he wasn't that showman or anything like that. The only thing people are going to remember about Tyron Woodley, people don't even remember my championship. They remember me and Stone Cold in the grocery store. The only thing people are going to remember about Tyron Woodley is him being on a poster with his face down from this point on. That's it.
We'll see. I think time will tell on that one. Real quick. I want to ask you about Masvidal. Cali Toenail with another, though.
Super chat.
No nog boat. I just go hard for Christmas edition. And I hope everyone has a good one as good as mine. Hall of Fame is the best show, period.
Ooh.
I know y'all can dig that, suckers. We appreciate you, Cali.
Happy holidays, dog.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, my brother. But you say no one's going to come to him soon. But Jake Paul saying, look, Jorge, I'll give you $5 million as some of the back end if you come get these hands.
What Jake Paul need to do, okay? I'm going to just put it out there.
Say it.
Jake Paul, he's had his run,
Mm-hmm.
okay, as far as calling out UFC fighters. I'm going to tell you right now, that boat after this fight has sailed,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I mean, Jorge Masvidal, he's too short. His arms are too short. His legs are too short. He's tailor-made to go out and get knocked out. If you want to go and pick up a check, okay, later on down the line, you might see it after he's left the UFC, but he's not going to be calling out any of the current fighters and they go and do it. Somebody that just want to check, I'm not going to sit here and say that guy is not like a Ben Askren sitting at home wanting to go and pick up a check. They might do it. But any current fighter that's got any relevancy is not going to be fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul need to go and fight a real fight, okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if he was in there with a real fighter, the same night he was in there with Tyron Woodley the other night, he would have got his ass knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
He got beat up, okay? So, I mean, he's made a fortune of knocking out the last three UFC fights. Well, Tyron Woodley twice, Ben Askren once. He's made a small fortune off those guys. And he should, and the thing is, more power to him. He had a great strategy.
Hell yeah.
And the thing is, he threw that line out there. Some of those guys bit on it, and some of them bit real hard, and he set the hook and reeled their asses in and beat them, and made a small name for himself as well at the same time in the fight game. Now, if Jake Paul is serious about fighting, he needs to fight. I don't care if the guy's, 1-1, 5-1, 5-0, 5-5. He needs to fight a real fighter going forward. because I really think that the boat is sailed after this Tyron Woodley debacle. Because there again, Tyron Woodley's not going to be able to go anywhere now. And people look at him and be talking about, man, you remember the fight you had with, man, only thing they're going to be remembering is, can you sign this poster for me right here?
Can you sign it right next to the dude wipes for me? Dude wipes logo.
Exactly. So I'm just being serious on that.
So you don't think there's any chance that we see Jorge and Jake Paul?
There's no chance. It's not.
Zero.
There's no chance that's going to happen because Jorge Masvidal get knocked out. He get beat up. He's too small. His arms are too short. His legs are too short. He has no win in that fight at all. Zero.
What did they fight at? What did Tyron and Jake fight at? Do you know?
It had to be
Or
around.
weight?
It had to be around. Let me see.
Because Jake's kind of a big guy.
It had to be around maybe 205.
205.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be a stretch for Masvidal.
It had to be around 205. Woodley's a pretty big guy. Jake Paul's a much bigger guy. So they had to be around 205, more light. Maybe cruiserweight, something like that. Light heavy, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'd be a pretty big jump up in weight for Jorge. Because Jorge normally fights at 170, and he's already a thin 170.
The thing is, Jake Paul has called out the right guys. I mean, come on, man. We all knew Tyron Woodley, I mean, we knew he was the guy that could go out and put up a good fight, but he was going to fold at the end of the day. We knew that. We knew Tyron Woodley wasn't a full-fledged boxer or nowhere near that. As well as Jake Paul's younger. You know what I mean? His stamina should be better. I mean, come on. When people think that they could just go out there and just pick something up like that and be good at it, they're fooling themselves. And that's just, that's just fact. It's just fact. But definitely we will not be seeing that fight anytime soon. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, William Regal, one of the goats, right? One of the goats from the UK scene,
Yeah.
UK goat. Didn't you say though that Regal? Did you say that Regal used to have an issue with you? Didn't you say that?
Well, thing is, I just never liked Regal.
What? Why? You're being funny, right? Regal seems like a cool
It
dude.
wasn't that I didn't like Regal. It's just that I didn't know him, And the first time Regal and we ran into each other at the main event gym right there in Atlanta, Georgia.